the turning point in all this was really in 2000. That was sort of the last full employment year. We had very high fractions of kids, teens, and young adults engaged in the labor force. On average, at any point in time, half the 16 and 19-year-old kids, actually a little bit more than that, were engaged in the job market. And this is an important thing because this is, and maybe we can talk about this a little bit later, but work is a little bit like going to school in the sense it's a human capital building process. So it's important for youngsters to get that early work experience. What's happened really since 2000 is the job market attachment of teens and young adults has fallen a lot. And as a result, the fraction of teens that have a job has come down a lot as well. You know, in 2000, we had 45% of kids in the US had a job, and that varied a lot by states and localities within states. That fraction today is somewhere around 25, 26, 27%. So it's pretty low. It's almost a half. The employment rates of kids are about half of what they were. If you take a look at the employment rates of kids by race ethnicity, back in 99, 2000, about 51% of the kids, white kids, had a job. But even back then, only about 28% of black kids had jobs. For Asian kids, it was about 30. Hispanic kids were much higher; they're about 44%. But you take that 15 years later, and you see for white kids, it went from half to a third. For black kids, it went from 28% down to a fifth. For Asian kids, 29% down to less than a fifth. For Hispanic kids, 44 to 28%. So all the groups are seeing this reduction, but the basic race ethnic structure has sort of stayed in place where white kids do a little bit better. And underneath that, what you'll see is a very close relationship to family income and the chance a kid has a job. And that as family income rises, the probability the kid has a job goes up until you get to the very highest income groups. Okay? And part of that, why that is because as the connections to the labor market expand a lot as that family income goes up. And so the connections, the brokering that goes on to get kids jobs is much better as the income level rises until you get to the top where people live in communities where, like Norfolk, where there are no jobs. So kids work a lot less.